All right, we got Rebel Cookie, and I'm excited to bring you the topping guide of choice for this particular cookie here today with the new update. So thank you for tuning in. As always, down below you'll find the timestamps as we work our way through this cookie. We'll give you the toppings of choice. We'll go for a run with this cookie, show the moveset because it's a lot of fun, and pull it all back together as we always do here. So thank you for joining. If you got a question or comment along the way, do let me know and feel free to join us in the Discord server. Thank you to everyone already there. All right, so here's what we got going on with Rebel Cookie. This one's a little unique. It's one of the first times that we've seen this. We have an ambush cookie that's also a frontliner. So it's something a little bit different. We got to think through some things here when we talk about the toppings, because we got kind of two options. I'll give you the preferred one, and as we play test and see, we'll see if that changes, kind of like we did with creme brulee. So here we go in terms of this particular cookie's moveset now. Here, there, everywhere. 13 seconds. Rebel Cookie uses his magic to deal damage, decrease the enemy's defense, and making them more vulnerable to all types of damage. Enemies with decreased defense will receive additional damage. Rebel Cookie will increase the allies' crit percent and provide an HP shield for them, blocking damage equal to a portion of the damage he has dealt. After finishing off his skill, he will create 2 decoys that will push enemies back with each regular attack. The decoys have a number of hits instead of HP, so they're ticks. While Rebel Cookie is using his skill, he will briefly become resistant to interrupting effects. Here, the skill damage up to ×6 hits over 1.5 seconds, 110% damage per hit. We have defense minus 14%. For 14 seconds, stacks up to 6 times, so you can essentially remove almost 100% of defense on that. All type of damage vulnerability, targets receive plus 60% damage for 14 seconds. Now there is no stack on that, as you can see, so keep that in mind. Extra damage to defense reduced targets, cookies 78% or 79. Extra damage to defense reduced targets, others 315. Crit percent 15% for 11 seconds, only stacks up to 1 time. HP shield blocks damage equal to 35% of damage dealt for 10 seconds. Shield capacity is capped at 30% of target's max HP. Decoy is 60% of the caster's attack. Must be hit 10 times to disappear. Decoy damage 162% of attack. So there is a lot going on with this thing. A couple ways that we could go with our toppings as well, and we'll talk through some of those and then why I picked the one that I do. So as this is very important here, you got 3 kind of things that are different, kind of going or working against each other, but certainly great altogether. So let's go ahead and level up our awesome new cookie here, because that is very, very important for us. There we go. We'll take advantage of all the jellies, and you can check out our guides here on how to get lots more jellies. All right, so there we have it. We'll go upgrade here just a little bit. I like to go to about 50-60, even though that tends to cap us out at a lot of the events. However, I don't like to dig too deep into my pristine powder here, so because we like to save some of those until we really know what's going to change in the meta and so forth. All right, so there we go. We got some skill moves up. Time for us to go check out the toppings. So a couple things here. Key pieces on the toppings. So first and foremost, you could kind of go 3 ways, and we saw that, so we're going to go back here 3 ways when we looked at the moveset. The first one is you get multiple stacks up to 6. Now most of the stuff lasts 14 seconds. If you saw, the moveset's 13, so it should cover for each time in between, so that's something to consider. The next thing to consider here again is percent of attack. Here you may want to consider that as well. But the third option that we're going to talk about here and go with our toppings is actually survivability in terms of solid almond. That's right. So we're going to grab all these solid almond ones right here, because it's going to be really important for us as a frontline cookie to stay alive. That is going to be the key, at least for now. So we got 3 options. Again, you can go with Swift to constantly get that defense down, or you can go with Attack to make this guy a little bit more attacky and just more squishy too, along with the Swift Chocolate, or Solid Almond to prevent a little bit of that squishiness, which is what we're doing because we're going to cast within that time frame anyway. And we're not going to work towards the defense stack. Certainly that could be a strategy for this particular cookie to keep in mind. So we're doing this for now. We're going to go with solid almond. Now, a couple of the key pieces, though, that are always still very important are in the bonus effects. The devil's in the details, right? So a couple things that you can focus on here is attack. You can also focus on additional damage resist. Cooldown is going to be big for you here too, because again, that's going to lead to those stacks. So those three are going to be your main three. Now, additional things to protect this cookie from squishiness, HP, and defense are also very nice. Any of the other resists can be helpful. Amplify buffs can be nice. So think about the first three: attack, damage resist, cooldown is really your tier 1, defense, HP is really kind of that tier 2, and then everything else in there is your tier 3. So that's kind of what you want to focus on when you go to optimize on this particular cookie. Here we got defense, cooldown, amplify buff. Here we got attack speed, crit resist. Here we have crit percent, crit resist, cooldown, attack speed, crit resist, crit percent, and HP, attack, amplify buff. So not a ton of really consistent stuff or really great stuff on this cookie. I would really say these are like a 5 out of 10 for me in terms of our toppings and tweaking. So something that you could always come back to and focus on more. So here we have a rebel cookie now with our almond topping set for damage resist. Let's go ahead and run him and take him out for a stroll in world exploration, or PvE as we like to call it, because I know many of you asked those questions. We're going to run our 829 here as we always do. We're going to move over here. Now I'm going to do two things because we want to see those shields and the impacts on the other cookies as well. I'm going to put PV in the back line there. We're going to go for it with these two. Now I'm super excited about this cookie, and I hope you are as well. We're going to get some action in here with this one. So here we go. Now there's the two runners, and there's our guy here. They do have a couple of hits in there, as you can see. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So that does pull him back like Caramel Arrow and gets a bunch of attacks in. And we do have, as you can see, the debuff, all these other things up here. Now here's our attack moveset again. There's the lovely, lovely HP shield that I wanted to show. All right, we're gonna be on our last guy here. I wanna get this in. There we go, look at that. Huge damage, awesome. So very, very cool. Certainly more that we can do and show on this particular cookie. However, this is gonna be our wrap for today. Now, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We had a lot of fun here with our Rebel cookie. Looking forward to using this one. Very, very interesting on those stacks. I love it because it could be a part of our zoo team, as I like to call it, or jungle strategy, as I like to call it. So those are some considerations you can start to think through immediately as you begin to build teams here with Rebel Cookie. We'll see how this goes in PvP as well. Looking forward to that because this new update just dropped here today. So with that, I hope you enjoyed our topping guide, toppings of choice, why we went with the solid almond, as you can see, and a lot of very, very cool things here about Rebel Cookie. We talked about the cookie, we did our toppings, and we went for the run. If you still got questions, if you got comments, certainly let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think of a Rebel Cookie. Do you like this cookie? Is this not your cookie? All those kinds of things, because we'd love to hear it. And feel free to join us in the Discord server as well. And with that, thank you. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. I appreciate your support. Thank you for the likes and the subs as we grow this community here. On top of that, as always, thank you so much to all the members. We do have memberships available to you down below. We got fun, cool stuff specifically for that to enhance your experience here. On top of that, we got affiliate links and other great ways to stay connected, things that you can check out like fan art and those things. And we got tons of other great Cookie Run Kingdom content here on the channel and shorts. With that, stay tuned because we got more Cookie Run headed your way all the time. With that, enjoy Rebel Cookie. Let me know what you think. We'll see you soon, my friends.